Good evening, investors. My name is Kevin Vincent. I'm part of the MarketsMojo's product team, and today we'll be taking you through. I'll be taking you through all of our premium features that we have available on our platform. At the end of the webinar, I hope if you are a paid client, and if you're a paid client, I hope you can extract. You're equipped to extract the maximum value that you can from MarketsMojo. And if you're an unpaid user, you can just see all the premium features that we have to offer. So in case you like something, you can subscribe as well. But before we get started with the entire webinar, the disclaimer. We emphasize that all investors should use the information on the webinar merely as a resource to enhance their own research and understanding. Nothing discussed in this webinar should be considered investment advice. We strongly advise all participants to check with certified experts before taking any investment decision. Investment in securities is subject to market risks. Past performance should not be construed as a guarantee for future returns. Investments in equity and equity-related securities involve a high degree of risk, and users should not invest unless they can afford to take the risk on their investments. All right. So our 9th anniversary just ended. We had a special offer of 2 years. You buy 1 year's package, you get 2 years free. So we had the offer of Mojo one. You get instead of 1,49,000, you could simply pay 24,999 for 1 year, and you get 2 years free, effectively making it a 3-year package. Mojo Professional, instead of 59,997, you could have gotten it at 17,999 for 3 years in total, effectively being a 70% discount. Now we have extended it for another 2 hours for all the webinar users. You will probably be able to see that on the platform as well. But in case you don't know where the links are, it's right in the description on the YouTube channel. And also, if you are on our platform and watching it at MarketsMojo, the link will be right under the video. All right, let's get started. All right. So today we are going to start off with something that we are going to do something that a lot of investors in the industry don't do properly, which is researching a company, right? So let's get started. Once you enter the MarketsMojo platform, you can all you have to hit search and look for a company. In this case, let's go with Infosys. It's a very popular company. So let's see where we are at. Okay, so it's technically speaking a buy-rated company, and we'll see why, right? So now we have 4 factors that we use to evaluate a company. Technicals, if you start off with the main and the most important one, the quality dot, right? So the first factor, the quality, represents the long-term fundamental strength of the company, right? So it is looking at the management risk, it is looking at the growth, it is looking at the capital structure. By capital structure, I mean how much debt is in the system, what is the debt serviceability ratios looking like, what is the growth of the company. So when I say growth, when I say long-term growth, we are looking at 5 years. So in this, if you scroll to the right, you see the sales growth. We're looking at the 5-year sales growth, your EBIT growth. Then we're looking at the management risk. Now, we are covering the research on all the listed companies, right? Now that is solely because we are looking primarily on data. Manually, it's very difficult to do. So what we are doing is we are looking solely at the data, right? Whatever the data says is what goes, right? So when I refer to management risk, right, we are not looking at we are not evaluating the who of the, who is the management. Rather, we are looking at what the effect of that management is. And our belief is that numbers will be reflected in your ROE, your ROE, ROCE, and whatnot, right? So we are primarily a data-driven company, right? And our analysis primarily and only looks at data, right? We have made a point to do this solely because it cuts through all biases that a lot of investors fall prey to, right? The first one being the confirmation bias, where basically an investor, when he researches a company, he spends a great deal of time, just identifying what the company is all about, and then accordingly he basically puts a decent amount of money in, right? Now, a few weeks later, let's say a few months later, the company starts, there are some news reports that are coming out regarding the company, which do not align with the view of the investor. In which case, he would ideally stop looking at the news, start discounting them as, then these are all rumors and whatnot, solely because people don't like to be wrong, right? I don't like to be wrong. That's pretty much like basic. That's basically everyone has this tendency of not being called out, right? Like tum galat ho. No one likes that, right? On the other hand, if I start saying good things about the company, I'm gonna feel very good about it, and I'm only going to be looking for those pieces of information that confirm my view, and hence confirmation bias. So our analysis cuts through all of that. I mean, there are a lot of biases that comes into play. I would another one being FOMO, fear of missing out. This is some company that is being pushed in the news channels, and your friends also buying it, and there is some momentum going for the company. In which case, basically, you decide to you decide to take the plunge. You fear the perfect the name of the bias, fear of missing out. You're fearing that you're missing out the entire rally, in which case you put money without even looking at what the company does and what the data what it's all about, right? So these are several biases that popular biases that I think a lot of people will be able to connect with, but essentially our analysis cuts through all of that, right? Right. So quality, as I mentioned, so management risk, we are evaluating what is the impact of the management rather than who is the management, right? It also represents as our most important factor. Now these factors, by the way, are also, the green dot, the green quality dot is represented here as well. Now there are 4 dots and the 4 factors. I'm going to take one by one. The first one is the green and quality dot, and the quality dot is green. Second one is valuation, right? So valuation basically represents, I mean, this is pretty much it's a very common term. I think a lot of investors are very much aware of. Valuation क्या है? Expensive है, attractive है, क्या है? सस्ता है, क्या चल रहा है, right? So it's a common term that a lot of people hear. Here, however, we are looking at it from a relative perspective. So हम cash flows discount नहीं कर रहे. कैश फ्लोज डिस्काउंटिंग मॉडल पे आप जाओगे तो वहाँ पे काफ़ी एस्टिमेशन रिस्क आ जाता है. आपने अगर आपका डिस्काउंट रेट बढ़ा दिया या आपका ग्रोथ रेट आपने थोड़ा एक्सपेक्टेशन से थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे कर दिया, द नंबर्स आर गोइंग, द इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू द फेयर वैल्यू इज़ वेरी लाइकली गोइंग टू मूव अप एंड डाउन, राइट? सो what we do instead is we look at relative valuation. In relative valuation, we are looking at how the company is doing against its benchmark being against the industry benchmark, and it also evaluates what it is doing compared to its own past as well, right? So for example, if the industry is here, right, industry के PE price multiples पकड़ लो, if it is at a certain level, if Infosys price multiples are above the benchmark, people might instinctively think that okay, this it's above the benchmark, so मतलब overvalued है, उसको बेच ही दो. On the other hand, if the company's price multiples are underneath the industry benchmark, people might instinctively think that okay, it's an undervalued company, might as well buy it up, right? But we are not just looking at that, we are also looking at if the fundamentals demand that level of premium or not, right? So it may be above the industry benchmark solely because it could be above the benchmark because of its fundamentals also. It might be a very good company to the point that strong fundamentals demand that level of premium, right? And vice versa. If the company is really bad, the fundamentals might be very weak, and hence the market might be discounting the entire fundamentals, and hence it might be under the benchmark, the industry benchmark, right? So we are looking at not just the industry's benchmark in isolation where the company stands, rather we also look at where it is, we are also evaluating it compared to its own history as well, right? So that's the second factor. In this case, it's fair, it's yellow, and the dot is yellow here as well. Third one, financial trend. The financial trend represents the latest quarterly results. It is basically comparing the latest quarterly results against its previous few quarterly performances, right? So in this case, data, quarterly results bologe to it's a abundance of data that comes into play, and there are few things that are going well for the company. The PAT is doing well. PAT is doing well. The EPS is doing well on a quarterly basis, dividend payout, so on. So यहाँ पे it might get a bit overwhelming for the investor, in which case we have come up with a score. Now, what we have done is we have seen at what is working for the company. Points like, अभी यहाँ पे points आपको दिख जाएंगे, आप नीचे भी जाके scroll करोगे, you will see exactly what is working for the company and not working for the company. We take like all the points that are working as plus and what is not as minus, and then we come out with a score. A score and essentially represents what the performance has been, right? So यहाँ पे the score is 1, which is an improvement compared to its previous 2 quarters. But if you look back to 1 year back, the quarterly results were much better, right? So you can evaluate it in that sense, right? So this is the 4th dot. Again, the quarterly results, the financial trend is flat, okay? And that is the 3rd dot right here. Now the 4th dot, I think, is the most common term that a lot of people are very much aware of. It is the technicals, right? Technical analysis to suna hi hoga, right? So what we're doing is we're evaluating the technicals based on 7 parameters, right? Indicators, MACD, RSI, Bollinger Bands, moving average, OBV, Dow theory, and so on. But we are not, disclaimer by the way, this is not intraday, right? We are looking at it from a weekly and a monthly perspective. So यहाँ पे अभी so for example, if looking at this these are the legends here. Okay, this company turned bullish at the price of 1579. It's slightly above, and it is. Actually, यहाँ का ही देख लो आप. Okay, it was bullish at the rate of 1400, and it basically is now slightly up. Now, if you look at this, it is now reverse bullish. Now, that is the latest indicator that has popped up. Now you can essentially take, you can evaluate it for yourself, see what it says. But हम यहाँ पे क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं is that this is not like an intraday thing. Rather, it is trying to establish what the long-term price trends will look like, right? Right. So now I've again to reiterate, this represents the quality dot, right? Which is excellent. Then this represents the valuation dot, which is fair. The 3rd dot is the financial trend, quarterly performance, again flat. And the last but not least, the technicals, it's mildly bullish and hence it is green. So now these are the 4 dots that essentially, the best way of saying it is these are essentially the summarizing points, right? Now before a while back, we basically used to just give these 3-4 points. But what we realized was that people started asking questions as to, यार ये सब dots देके what is the point? Like, what should I do with the company? Should I buy it? Should I sell it? Should I hold it? And the classic example was, people being familiar with what valuation is. Oftentimes there would be a company that would be very expensive, but the company's fundamentals are very strong, right? So the company, तो करना क्या है? Like, quality अच्छा है, but valuation expensive hai, like it's contradicting. What should I do, right? In which case we basically came up with the Mojo score, right? Mojo score for the company, for Infosys now actually has changed from hold to buy 27th June, because it happened very recently at a price of 1573, right? And now if you look at this, it's a scale: strong sell, hold, buy, strong buy. इसका scale है. I think once it hits 70, it's in the buy range. Once it's 80, it's in the strong buy range, and then it goes down as well. So I think this is basically what a lot of people want, right? हमने तो research दे दिया आपको. If you want to, you might also have an opposing view. It's not necessary that you might, you might follow exactly what we are saying. The research is available for you. In case you disagree, it's completely up to you, sir. But basically, we are telling it's a buy based on these 4 factors, 4 rationals, right? The long-term fundamental strength with an average ROE of 27.14%. Stock is technically in the bullish range. ROE is almost 30. It has a fair valuation, and institutional holdings is very high. It's 70%, right? So this is basically the how we evaluate a company, how we research a company, right? Does our analysis end there? Not really. Once you go beyond those 4 factors, your technicals, quality, evaluation, financial trend, you have a lot more other factors, sections that you can explore. On the left, you'll always have your summary cards. On the right, you'll always have your, in-depth cards, right? Now, quartiles, very interesting card. Essentially, we're looking at it's very very self-explanatory. Let's read it out. Companies are bucketed in 4 quartiles as per the total returns generated, right? तो आपने समझो 100 कंपनीज हैं, आपने उनको एक ऑर्डर पे ले लिया, and we are highlighting the highest. The rank 1 will essentially have the highest return, and rank 10th 100 will have the lowest return in that industry or market cap or closest peers, right? We're evaluating it based on these three segments, right? तो यहाँ पे क्या है कि if the company falls in the first 25% or the first 25 companies within the 100 का list जो हमने बनाया है, it will fall in the first quartile. Second quartile if it's in 25 to 50 का range, 50 to 75 in third quartile, and fourth quartile will be 75 to 100 का range पे, right? So once you have all these 4, so basically post that you can also identify कि where this company has been, which quartile has it been in, in the quarter to date, latest quarter to date, March, June ka quarter mein, the previous quarter, then YTD 2023, 2022. So essentially highlights the consistency of these returns, right? Okay. Now, another interesting point, something I always love to explore, is the shareholding, right? Now, shareholding mein, essentially, it is very simple yet very effective. We are looking at who owns the company, like who owns the piece of the pie, right? Now, as we looked at in the above slide, कुल मिला के 70% of the ownership of the company is with institutions, right? But will that always be the same, right? Will that, like it's once I own something doesn't mean that I own it forever, right? In which case, all you have to do is click on full details, right? And this will give you, there we go. If you click on all periods, you can see exactly what has been the shareholding looking like based on the previous quarters as well, right? Indian promoters 14.71, it's not very changed a lot, slightly been falling. Then we have top promoters. Okay, FIS no FIS ka hai. Better, maybe a better way of doing it is looking at the top public shareholders. LIC is the biggest one, holds more than almost 10% of the company. Promoter holdings, who are the promoters? Mr. Rohan Murthy owns 1.64. Sudha Gopal Krishnan owns 2.57%, right? You can also look at this data. That's the same thing, right? So you can also look at this data from if you keep scrolling, right, as I mentioned, these the summary cards on the left essentially highlights what is essentially happening. And if you want to go dwell deeper into the data, you just need to just scroll to the right. Right, FIS holding is 34.1%, and mutual fund holdings 17.93%, insurance holdings so on and so forth, right? So ये इससे आपको basically समझेगा कि कंपनी में हो क्या रहा है, who owns what is the long term and the short term trends looking like, and and last but not least, should I buy this company or not, right? आपको score बता रहे हैं ना. I understand people. It is not based on this, by the way, is completely automated. There is no manual intervention here, so that it removes the element of subjectivity, right? And and basically it allows us to give you a score and a call across all the listed companies, right? Okay, so that's the first, how to research a company, right? Now the second point is basically, let's look at, we get a lot of, so last time I covered the top 1% of the companies. Now let's look at top, the other 3 strategies that we have. The first one being the hidden turnarounds. Okay. So the hidden turnarounds represent the long-term they represents the companies that have just recently published a strong quarterly performance, post a series or streak of negative quarterly results, right? So a company might not be rated as a buy on our platform. It could be rated as hold and sometimes even sell, right? But our main principle here is that we are trying to find them early and invest before they become phenomenal stocks, right? So यहाँ पे आपका alpha का scope, we are trying to hope, we are basically hoping, not hoping, rather we are basically trying to extract as much alpha as we possibly can. But given that these companies have shown recent turnaround, and they may be very volatile and are suitable for people with a very high risk appetite, right? So we, by the way, are very straightforward. We are very transparent. If you click on the full list, you will see all the companies that have been in the list. I'm sorry. You can just click on Show More and see all the historical data as well that we have available. You can also look at this from Mojo stocks as well. I mean, that is our this feature has been the oldest one, and has been the oldest one. If you click on full list, you'll see that the entire हमारा entire कुंडली है यहाँ पे, right? जहाँ पे आपको जो भी कंपनीज ये लिस्ट में आए हैं उनके स्ट्रॉन्ग परफॉर्मेंस दिखेंगे, एंड ऑल्सो वी आर नॉट परफेक्ट ऑल द टाइम, सो वी ऑल्सो हैव सम नेगेटिव रिटर्न्स एज वेल, राइट? So the third one is the second strategy is the momentum now stocks. So these are companies that are, these are basically companies that are catching some level of momentum in the market, right? There is some momentum that they're having some momentum. Fundamentals are not like our top priority here. We are looking at the fundamentals, the momentum of the company. If the momentum goes, this company gets out of this list, right? Similarly, reliable performers, the best way of describing it would be to look at it as the companies that are best in their class, right? Basically, it's a very crude way of saying this. Basically, is the companies in the list can be bought by a very conservative guy. My father can buy these companies. So the medium risk profile, and these companies have been, these guys are the reliable guys. Best way of putting it. So just hold on. Correct. So these are the companies that belong to the reliable performance strategy. And again, if the company leaves this list, it will is no longer a reliable performer. It will leave this list. Again, you can access all the companies that are in this list on a large cap basis. You can look at them from a market cap split. Also, you can look at the entire list that has come and gone, right? Now, the next feature that we have is the stock of the month. Now, this basically is a feature for people who basically don't even have time to look into strategies, right? मेरे को track नहीं करना कि ये company में कितने, how many companies are entering this list. There is a lot of companies. I just want that one company though, right? I need that one company, and that's good enough for me. That give me one stock per month, and stock of the month was the answer to that question that we had, right? So in this case, looking at the latest stock of the month, it is Bikaji Foods, and I'll tell you how it works. What our CIO does is basically he looks at all the top rated companies. Then he sits with his group of analysts, and basically they try to identify which companies have like the highest potential for growth, right? And accordingly they pick that company. So Bikaji Food was chosen, and they publish it on the 10th of every month. Now, and we post that publish, once we publish it, it also goes through best way of saying it goes through our Chief Investment Officer, Mr. Sunil Damania, will come on the platform, a webinar just like this one, and basically we'll do like a Q&A session where he'll basically field questions regarding the company, and he field questions regarding the company if people have questions regarding why this has been chosen, and so on. So यहाँ पे आप basically he'll just go through this report as well. You'll see the summary, and it's a very interesting read. I believe you should get the chance to take some time आप train में travel कर रहे हो, गाड़ी में बैठे हो. I think it's the best. It is a very insightful read, right? This comes out every 10th. So in this case, you also get an investment rationale argument regarding why this company was chosen and so on, right? It's not a long report. You can you can go read through this report in the matter of 5 to 10 minutes, right? And you kind of understand exactly why we have chosen this company. So that is stock of the month. We also highlight our performance 7.36, 6.5. I mean, like whatever is open. Sorry. We also highlight that there's some companies. Now, for example, Global Health. We closed it right now. Our rationale here is that we are not going to hold on to if a company is deteriorated, if our we are not always correct. But we are monitoring. So if the company is no longer showing that potential for growth, we will immediately come out and say that okay, the Global Health is not looking that great anymore. Our projections are not, it's very unlikely to continue, and we are going to close the call. Now in this case, we booked a profit of 34.73%, and this is the entire list is available. You can, once you are a paid user, essentially within a next week, you should expect the 10th. On the 10th, you should expect the July stock of the month for the month of July, right? And it's being analyzed as we speak, and just keep an eye out for that. You can join our WhatsApp channel actually. In that channel, basically, in case you tend to miss out on these notifications, you're not really you don't want to miss out on the notifications of when the stock of the month comes in, or rather some of the important pieces of information, including when a Mojo stock or a hidden turnaround or any of these lists, any company has been added or removed. It's the best way of getting the information right on your fingertips. It's not a group, rather it's a I think it's a community. It's a channel. I'm sorry. You can click on the link below. Click on it. You can just find the channel and you can join. It is not bothersome. You can mute it also if you want. Look out for that important pieces of information. You can also basically, just to reiterate, our discounts are, it's only going to be valid for a very short period of time. You can click on the link. You will find for all of the webinar users, you will be able to see this on the website. It will be available for a limited time only, post which the numbers will go up till 50,000, almost 60,000 rupees. The link is in the description, so take advantage. I'll move on. All right. So now we have spoken about how to research a company, right? Then we have also spoken about the strategies, right? The company is like the companies that belong to certain strategies, hidden turnaround, for a very aggressive people. Momentum now, basically companies that are that have a momentum going for themselves. Reliable performers, companies that that are reliable, as simple as that. Like they are the best in their class, and they are consistently performing. So apart from these three strategies, like we have also highlighted what the stock of the month is. Now, as you see, from 4,000 companies to a list of companies to just one company, right? We have given you all the investment ideas that you can get. Keep in mind that whatever research I'm highlighting, please don't take it as advice. Some of these are, please don't think of it as an investment and go buy it. You should ideally look into it yourself. But what I'm trying to say is that I've given you a list of companies, ideas to start off with at least. But that approach might not be the right approach, right? An investment cycle essentially doesn't end where you highlight your you decide कि चलो मेरे को small caps, मुझे let's say hidden turnarounds खरीदना, या basically with the aggressive kind, right? तो मेरे को ideas मिल गए, तो मैंने 2-3 companies खरीद ली, and then I do nothing, right? That circle has to end by you identify the companies. Now you're monitoring them, and then once the company starts to deteriorate, you start to sell them and keep monitoring them, and that cycle keeps on rotating, right? And that is ideally, my personal opinion is that I find that to be the most effective, the most smart way of investing from a portfolio approach. You are just not just you're looking at it from an entire portfolio approach. You're not just investing in one list of companies. That cycle keeps on going. आपने खरीद लिया company, and then we are monitoring it for you, and then once a company is deteriorating, we'll tell you when to sell it. Our problem with all investors, right? बेचना नहीं है किसी को, सबने खरीद लिया, अभी बेचना is like no, we're not going to do that. So we also tell you to sell, right? And without selling, you're not going to we basically don't tell you to sell, we'd rather tell you to switch, right? आप बेचो मत, आप switch करो to much better company. So I will take you through the entire journey that I just highlighted, and it's all you have to go to the portfolio section, go to the model portfolios. Now you already have, we already give you access to 5 model portfolios that you can create. I've kept one, so let's create one for ourselves. Click on create portfolio. Right. We'll ask you 2 simple questions. First one being investment amount kitna hai. So let's go with 2 lakhs, 202,000 to 2 lakhs. Okay. and choose your risk profile. Now, this is, I think, a very crucial thing that a lot of investors should consider, right? A risk profile essentially represents where you stand, what kind of risk appetite that you have, right? If you are able to stomach the volatility that the markets went through during the election days, like during the polls and the actual days, वो level of volatility आपको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता, then you are a very aggressive guy, right? But if you that's just an example. I mean, there are a lot of ways. You can also look at it from this perspective. If you have money to, if you don't care if it goes away, you don't mind losing it all, you're an aggressive guy for that specific set of money. But if you could not watch that volatility, you were basically just price refresh, hoping for the price to go up and not go down, then you're very likely a conservative guy. A moderate basically falls in that the center of that spectrum, right? तो हमने specify भी किया है. In case you are not able to place yourself, we have also highlighted यार हम किस में क्या डालने वाले हैं. And there are a lot of qualitative and quantitative surveys out there that will help you identify which kind of risk profile you belong to. Okay, a simple test is volatility आपको पसंद है, not in that sense. I mean, if you are able to stomach the volatility, you can bear it easily. आपको फर्क ही नहीं, it doesn't impact you whatsoever. You're an aggressive guy. Now, me, I'm a very young guy, and my retirement, my objective of, let's say, a portfolio is retirement, generating a retirement corpus. In which case, basically, that retirement age, I have a couple of decades to reach that goal, and I can afford to lose, and I can rebuild my corpus. But if there is someone that is close to his retirement 5 years down the line, he ideally should not take the chance, because then if he loses, if he loses a certain amount of money, it's going to be very difficult for him to recoup or rebuild that corpus as and when he needs it, right? So ideally, just identify where you belong in this spectrum. You're an aggressive, moderate guy. So in this case, I'm an aggressive guy. I've read the disclaimers, generate the model portfolio. So at the moment, it's basically looking at the overall market. It's basically identifying what are the best companies based on the risk profile, and also based on what is the amount that you have selected, right? So now there are close to 10 stocks. There are 8 sectors. Almost 30% is in finance and BFCs. 100% have the best quality. 100% have positive trend, and 100% have mildly bullish technicals and better technicals. So now. We were talking about a list of companies or that one company, right? यहाँ पे आपको पूरा list मिल रहा है of a portfolio, right? But the killer part is that you're also telling you what is the allocation that you should look into. ACC का 7 पकड़ो, Bikaji का you can just pick 27 companies. Given that I have put the investment value of 2 lakhs, Wellspin Corp 33, Motherson Wiring almost 300, and so on, right? Allocation is pretty much split. Hero MotoCorp has slightly dominating, right? I click on continue, and you can basically have this basically represents a deal sheet. You can just take this and execute your orders, right? At your with your broker, right? So okay, kar do usko. And now it doesn't end here. Like I told you the cycle. Like we are halfway there. Ideas ban gaye, investment bana diye, allocation sab set ho gaya. Now this is the portfolio, by the way. This you can come and monitor this portfolio. You can see the total gains, absolute return, benchmark IRR, and cash in hand. The portfolio score is very high on account of the fact that we have just created a very good model portfolio. Now, we are monitoring the performance meaning the fundamentals of all these companies. Wellspun, Motherson Wiring, Cipla, CDSL, ACC, Bharat, Electron, Bikaji Foods. We are evaluating all these companies on the go, right? And if ever, let's say a company's quality falls, let's say Hero MotoCorp's score falls below a certain range, and it's no longer a buy-rated company, or basically it is. I mean, that's not the actual threshold. Rather, there are a few more factors in play, but essentially we're monitoring the company. If a company's fundamentals start to deteriorate, right, that's where we come in and we say that, okay, time to get rid of this company and switch into another better company. That might always not be the case. You might be also asked to sit in some cash, but it's most likely that you will be asked to switch into another company. राइट, एंड दैट इज़ वेयर द साइकिल एंड्स. हमने आपको एलोकेशन हमने आपको पूरा पोर्टफोलियो बना के दिया है, देन हमने आपको बताया कि इसका एलोकेशन कितना होना चाहिए. Then we are monitoring the entire portfolio for you. You don't have to look at this. You can also get the updates as to if we spot that there is some deterioration happening within your portfolio, we'll tell you get rid of it, right? On an email, you can also find it on this platform. Notification bhi aa jayega aapko, and I have close to 29 notifications. All of it will be updated here, right? See, a new momentum stock has been added 47 minutes ago. Okay, if you're a paid user, please take advantage. If you're a non-paid user, please take advantage of the discounts that we have ongoing and find out what that company is, right? So that's about it. We have identified essentially the research, right? How to research a company. You can, by the way, go nuts with that. I mean, we have like close to 300 cards, and it's not raw data. We have refined. It's a transformed piece of information. It's insightful, right? You can get a lot of insights about your company, and it's all and the analysis. It's not limited to like Infosys, TCS, not the big ones, to every company, right? Then we also spoke about the 3 strategies that we have, how a lot of companies fall in that list, and why they are in that list. And we also spoke about that one company that everyone that our CIO comes out with every month. Now ideas generation ho gaye, and at the end, my opinion, the proper way of investing, right? The model portfolio approach. You get a list of companies. You also, look at the allocation. It should be properly diversified. You don't want to have a lot of tail stocks in your portfolio. You don't want to be too, You don't want to have a overly concentrated portfolio as well. And then we monitor that portfolio. Usme kuch bechna hoga. Then basically highlight it on email. You can also come to this platform, identify what it is, and the cycle ends. That by the way, we'll keep monitoring it. The 5 portfolios that you might have seen that I have. So ये तो अभी start हो गया, इसके returns कुछ नहीं है. But basically the other ones have. I mean, I do this every webinar, but they're doing pretty well. But yeah, we are monitoring all of these 5 portfolios for you, right? It's not limited. By the way, keep in mind that it's not actually, there is not a person who's actually sitting and monitoring this. It's all AI based. If there is anything wrong, you'll immediately get the update, right? So that's the model portfolio. We all of these services are paid, unfortunately. So if you are an unpaid user, you can take advantage of the current discounts that we have in place. It's only for limited time only. You can just use the link in the description below. And you can also, go to the website as well. We have, these banners will essentially reflect the right discounts for you. You might, and these won't be there for long. So take advantage while you still can. To avail the offer, click on the description below. It's in the description, the YouTube channel as well as on the MarketsMojo website. You can also click on the webinar, on the website, on the banners on our stocks page and on the overall website as well. If we have any questions, I would love to take some. So let's start with that. How to find stock entry price, stop loss, exit price by using MarketsMojo. Sir, we have had that question a lot, and I have a right answer for you. Just a moment. So so if you could share my screen, what we, sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir, but basically now there are companies, we have a scale, strong sell, hold, buy, strong buy. अगर समझो मैंने आपको बता दिया अभी कि like we start giving targets and whatnot, right? If it's 1600, right, and the company is still in the buy range, a person, and let's say the price goes up to 1800, I will come in and I'll see that यार मैंने तो गाड़ी मेरा छूट गया है, right? That doesn't mean that the momentum of the company or the potential of the company is ended there, right? Entry price छूट गया है, but the company's potential is still there. Taking that into context, we decided not to even have targets, not to even have entry prices, and go with the simple principle that as long as it's in the buy, strong buy section, it's a buy company. If it deteriorates, holds on to, sell, hold, buy, strong sell, in which case, you accordingly act as it says. So that's why we don't have those 3 points. Instead, we follow this principle. Next question. Mr. Mayur, is Axis Bank good for cash and futures also? Sir, I wouldn't advise. I would say just go to the platform and identify what the company is looking at. From a fundamental perspective, futures, I personally don't get into it, so I will probably not be able to advise you on that. But get onto that platform. Look for what the company is looking like on a fundamental basis. What is our score for the company, and if you are an unpaid user, the research is still available, so you can identify what the you can identify what if it is a good company or a bad company. But yeah, next question. Mr. Bharat, how to select stock having Mojo score more than 75? How to find stocks of strong buy category using the screener? We don't have that feature, sir. It's a feedback that we have received a lot, but I'll tell you what is the closest thing that you can do. Okay. You can just share my screen, Amit, please. So, sir, you can go to the screener section. Stocks पे जाओ पहले, screener select कर दो, right? And then basically you have the Mojo Logic, Mojo Expert. Let's go with the simple one. Mojo Logic is a simple one. यहाँ पे क्वालिटी के जो भी डॉट्स मैंने बताए थे, जो 4 डॉट्स थे, टेक्निकल्स, क्वालिटी, वैल्यूएशन, फाइनेंशियल ट्रेंड, लुक एट द ग्रीन वंस, राइट? समथिंग दैट वी यूज्ड टू गेट बिफोर द स्कोर केम कि 4 ग्रीन डॉट वाले कौन से कंपनीज हैं. So we have already highlighted them. So now, except for technicals, the 3 dots ke points have been already highlighted. All the green dots are there, and 49 companies qualify for that, right? If I put bullish also, that 49 becomes 24, right? If I restrict the previous year, now if I want the best of the best, quality being the gatekeeper when it comes to the best companies, मैं good भी निकाल दूंगा ना, that so there's no I've restricted it too much. Let me look at it from valuation perspective. Let's go with very attractive, and that company, the list of companies that fall into 7. Financial trend mein, let's look at positive karke. Let's see if I can go further below. Okay, we can't. So we have taken it to excellent, quality, good. Valuation is only very attractive. Financials are outstanding, very positive. Technicals bullish, and that's it. So this is the closest thing that you can come to, sir. Mojo Expert. This is a very simple way of doing it. Mojo Expert essentially is basically where you basically have complete freedom to do whatever you want. Again, you can add the filters from the left side and the right side. Basically, आप यहाँ पे भी latest quarter में we can go customize it even further. So जो मैं 3 strategies की बात कर रहा था यहाँ पे, जो hidden turner, momentum, reliable, you can basically do this, create your own strategy. यहाँ पे आप आके outstanding, very outstanding, previous quarter में क्या था performance. So let's pick for a company in this case as a company that basically did kind of like a turnaround. So negative पकड़ लो इसका. Okay. Negative पकड़ लो. Returns में let's look at companies that have not done, that have not risen up or basically surged. 0 से 10% पकड़ लेते हैं इसके last 1 year का performance, and it's fine. Quality grade is fine. There is only one company constantly. Run the analysis, and we only have that one tips films के company जो basically अभी बहुत अच्छा performance दिया है, but previous quarterly performance was not that great. It is from -10 to 10. Let's look at this company. So obviously we didn't look at what is it, इसका quality अच्छा है, quality is very good. Financial trend just posted a good financial trend. See, negative फिर अच्छा performance दिया है इसने. Valuation हमने कुछ filter डाला ही नहीं, right? Technicals के लिए भी हमने कुछ filter डाला नहीं, यहाँ पे full bearish लग रहा है. So we have only taken the 4 factors, right? And we've essentially come up with this. Now if I wanted to, I could let me just go back. If I wanted to, I could basically filter it down even further to यहाँ पे है, हाँ. I could have added these extra points. Now I can just remove this returns ka here, and I think this comes up to 11. Now run the analysis, and you have a list of companies that match my requirements. I can go further into this. Like you can evaluate, I filter it based on the market caps, net sales kitna aa raha hai saal ka, shareholding kya dikh raha hai. I want a certain amount of FII holdings in the company. Total institutional holding should be above 50%, so that as they have done their due diligence, that essentially fosters your view on the company, and so on. So you can go wild with this, sir. We don't have the score, but we have the dots, so that's the closest thing that we have right now. Next question, please. Hello, I'm a long-term paid user, Mr. Pinak. Good evening. Please let me know how I can receive alerts info on my WhatsApp number. I'm not receiving any alerts. All right, sir. So we have a open channel, sir, on WhatsApp. The link is in the description. Mr. Pinak, if you can't find the WhatsApp link, you can just email it to me. Email me, just say hi or whatever. I'll give you the WhatsApp link. The same applies for everybody. It's basically this channel that we have ongoing is an open channel, but we are also coming up with like a paid version of the channel. So Mr. Pinak, I think what you are referring to will be coming in soon, but you can still get the alerts on WhatsApp. A link is in the description. If you can't find it, my email ID is kevin@marketsmojo.com. My name KEVIN Kevin @marketsmojo.com. You can shoot me an email if you have any questions on that. We can accordingly. It doesn't need to be necessarily based on the WhatsApp. It can be whatever. If you have any queries, don't abuse me. But if you have any queries regarding the product, I think we have one more question and the final question. Check it out. Good evening, Mr. Shailesh. I bought one stock which was in the strong buy range. Ideally, when should I sell it? I mean, how much profit booking does MarketsMojo recommend? So I think I addressed this in the first question. Best thing is to do, sir, is looking at the scale. But if it's best, what you could do is, I see, there's the thing. We don't really recommend a certain level of profit booking, right? आप कर क्या सकते हो क्या? You can essentially look at when the scale starts to deteriorate. I mean, we are not saying for me personally, I wouldn't wait for the company's fundamentals to get to the sell range, right? Like, this is me. I was not as company is saying. There are people who follow till it hits the hold range. For me, if it's starting to deteriorate from a strong buy level, I might start to reduce my position. I will not completely exit. But that's just my opinion. So again, to reiterate, we don't highlight how much profit booking. MarketsMojo is not highlighting any of that. But ideally speaking, if the company starts to deteriorate, you can accordingly take a call. Do we have any more questions? No, we don't have more. I'll just reiterate the feature. Our special offer that we have ongoing on the platform. You get 2 years for free, only applicable now for existing users attending this webinar. Mojo 1 you get for $24,999 for 1 year plus 2 years free, effectively making a 3-year subscription for just rupees 24,999. That represents an 83% discount. If you don't want that, you can go for Mojo Professional. It's cheaper than that. 17,999 for 1 year plus 2 years free, effectively coming to a discount of 70%. We've extended this for 2 hours only. Now on the website, I think it's saying 24 hours, but that is also going to shut down within an hour or so. 24 hours is being up. So take advantage while you still can. Effectively, you're locking in a price for the future date. Prices are eventually going to rise. With more features coming in, our offerings will increase, and the prices will also increase. So take full advantage, and I hope you have a good. I hope you were able to learn, and perhaps you are more equipped to to extract as much value as you can from our platform. And I wish you the best of luck in the coming market days. Good luck, and all the best.